Well, good morning from Lost Mountain Shelter. I suspect that if you've been watching my videos, this tells you a little bit about the morning that we've got. I haven't checked the thermometer yet, but it's somewhere in the 20s this morning. It's cold. There's our bear box. We had our food stored in there last night. We got a little bit of water filtering because we couldn't save what we made last night because it was going to freeze solid as a rock. And we're about to have breakfast, and we're going to try to get the heck on out of Dodge here this morning. There's a little bit of a view this morning, and we'll show you more as we go through the day. So on the docket today is Buzzard Rock first. That's our first climb. Once we get up there, then we're going to be kind of bouncing along at Grayson Highlands for a while. Hopefully we'll see the ponies. Should see them today. And we're headed for Wise Shelter today if all goes as planned. So we'll keep you in the loop and let you know what we do. Well, here's a little stream that we're crossing this morning. It's still really cold out here. I don't know what the temperature is. Don't know whether I trust the thermometer I'm carrying or not. It said it was 30 degrees when we left the shelter, but I'm not convinced that's true. We were supposed to have mid to low 20s last night, and I feel pretty confident that it got there. I did wake up at some point in the night and pulled on another layer. I probably should have put my sleeping bag liner into use last night, and I just didn't. I was thinking, well, you know, I'm pretty comfortable right now. We'll go with it, and probably would have made a difference. I wasn't uncomfortable. I had to get up one time and go take care of nature's call, but it's almost a full moon as well. I think that's going to be Tuesday if I remember correctly. We're headed up now. I don't know whether this is the beginning of Buzzard Rock or not, but it's a pretty steep up, so I'm going to put the phone down and concentrate on not hacking up a lung. Well, we're about to step out of the woods here in a minute, and I think that's where we're headed, right up there. So I believe this probably signifies the beginning of our climb. Probably 2 or 3 more miles. I'm not really sure. I have to check the map and see. I was thinking the top of this was 5 miles out, and we're probably 45 minutes out, which means we're probably 2 miles in. I don't know. It's a whole bunch of arithmetic that's exacerbated by the fact that I'm still not walking my full stride, but I'm doing fine.
Buzzard Rock.
Leg's not bothering me. So yeah, Buzzard Rock.
2.8.
2.8 Hawkeye says. So I was right, just at 3 miles to get up to the top of that. And then once we're up, we're up. So we'll talk to you soon. Well, when the trail brings me up against something like this, I figured that might be something you'd want to look at. Humongous rock outcropping right there with icicles. Really gorgeous. Come in a little closer a bit. Still working our way up Buzzard Rock. Nothing too steep, but it certainly is rocky. So I've been kind of plodding along with great care. Not moving too fast because it's uphill, of course. But we'll get to some parts later on today where we can wind it out a little bit, I think. And here's that, ooh, too fast. Sorry, rock from another angle. Well, that's where we're headed. You can see Hawkeye moving up towards the top right there. And I'll be right behind him. All right, we're up on the top of Buzzard Rock, or nearly so. We just stopped right down here to have lunch. And for the first time in a long time, we actually have some really nice views. Our trail's going to go on up this way, and then it's going to kind of cross this field in just a little bit. And that's White Top up there on top of us. We don't go all the way to the top of White Top. We had planned to come here yesterday, and Kevin's foot precluded us doing that. Probably made the best decision because he's feeling fine today. But, anyway, I just thought I'd take a minute. Let you see a view since it's been a week or so since you've seen anything besides water features. We'll keep on going around here and trying to keep Hawkeye in frame and also not break my neck on the rocks. This rock up here may have been where we stopped before. I don't remember. We were out in 2019. You can see all kind of pathways in the field up here above. I think we just got to cut straight across it. Maybe, I don't remember for sure. But we'll know shortly. Next landmark is Elk Garden, which is a road crossing in Thomas Knob. And then Wise Shelter. We're 12.5 miles away from home tonight. We'll have to make a decision at Thomas Knob, but I think we can do it, because I think once we get up to Thomas Knob, we'll be walking pretty good. It'll be reasonably flat and terrain that we've done before. So we'll check in with you in a little bit. Well, still plodding along. We have passed across the front of White Top. Stopped briefly for a minute. Mr. Dan had some trail magic, and we said yes, we will. So we sat with him for, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes, and we are making our way down toward Elk Garden right now. That is a road crossing, and then from there it's 4 miles to Thomas Knob, and I really don't know how far it is to Wise Shelter. We'll do some looking at it when we get there and see what our way forward looks like. But at least for the moment, even though it's rocky and rooty, it is trending downhill. We'll have to climb up towards Thomas Knob. It's not much of a climb, I don't think. I'll probably eat those words later today, but Thomas Knob is just beside Mount Rogers, and I wonder if that is Mount Rogers right there. Mount Rogers is the highest point in Virginia. We came across some day hikers they came by while we were sitting there talking to Dan and asked about where the highest peak in Virginia was. And I said, well, it's Mount Rogers and it's the other direction. So they had parked down here at Elk Knob, but had come up the trail the wrong way. So I'm not sure whether they'll get to see Mount Rogers today or not. But at any rate, we'll be close to it. We're probably not going to go over to it. I'll check in with you here at the bottom. Well, closing in on Elk Garden road crossing and big rock alert. So I thought I'd pause here and show you these huge boulders here that we're walking amongst. And we'll be back down to the road just shortly. I can see it down there. So we're nearly there. We'll pause and take a break there and see what we got ahead of us for the rest of the day. Well, one thing is, it is a beautiful, beautiful day for hiking. Here's the sign. We just crossed out of Elk Garden, and we are headed up this, not too steep of a climb. The climb this morning was much steeper, but we'll be climbing up to Thomas Knob Shelter. It'll be our next landmark, about 4 miles out, and the weather is absolutely gorgeous. I hope that it'll hold and that we'll have good views when we get through Grayson Highlands. We have to, evaluate Thomas Knob. Are we going on to Wise, because it's maybe 6 miles further. It's not a bad hike, 6 miles. I really want to do that because that keeps us in our schedule. What we have for food and electricity and water, and water's not an issue. We get that on the trail, but we can't buy more food. We don't want to walk farther than we have food to sustain us. So we'll do some looking and see how things go. We'll check with you at the trail. All right, so that is essentially where we're headed. This tree-covered mountain here in the center of the screen is Mount Rogers. That's the highest point in Virginia. And though we don't go over it, we'll go past a side trail that leads over to it. And I sort of wonder, it's possible that our shelter is in this little valley right over here we're going to pass next. Not really where we're planning to stay. We'll have to play that by ear and see what time we get there and that sort of thing. But that's where, I bet that's where Thomas Knob Shelter is, just in the lee of that valley, just on the other side of it. I think the water source is on this side, so we'll have to take a peek and see if we can see this area when we get up there. I thought I would take a picture or two of this because I hope that today is the last day that we are going to see this forlorn substance. Who knows? We'll probably see some up the trail, but we're climbing up kind of near to the summit of Mount Rogers, which is the highest point in Virginia. And then after that, we're going to be descending for quite a while. So we may be out of the ice business after this weekend, or after the next day or so. I'm not sure exactly what day of the week it is. But anyway, plowing forward, heading up towards Thomas Knob Shelter, and we'll evaluate and see whether we're headed on to Wise. I'd like to. It's not too far, it's not uphill. So we'll just have to see what time we get there. Well, it's 3:30. We have made it to the Blue Blaze Trail. That's the cutoff to Mount Rogers Summit up this way. It's not terribly far to go, but I'm not gonna go. And then the AT heads on down this way. And we should be really close to Thomas Knob Shelter. I mentioned earlier we may pull up in there tonight. I don't know, it's 3:30. We got to look at mileage and food and that sort of thing, and just see, can we afford another day shorter? So we'll look at it when we get down here and see. We're both kind of tired. We've done 12 and a half or so miles, so it's not it's not a crazy short day for us, to be truthful. We had sort of thought 17, but maybe with legs and feet, that may not be our best move today. We did quite a bit of climbing today, earlier, and maybe less tomorrow. We'll just have to look at the map and see and plan accordingly. But we'll get to where we're going eventually. But we may stay here tonight. Well, this is the view from our bear box area, which is not far from our campsite. I walked up here to store our food for the night. We did decide we're going to stay at Thomas Knob tonight. Our trail tomorrow is flatter, and we can still make the destination we had planned to make for tomorrow, which is Hurricane Mountain Shelter. We can do that from here much more easily. So we're going to do that tonight and get on up and out in the morning and do a big hike. So I'll walk you back down that way here just in a little while and show you the area, but we're almost in Grayson Highlands State Park, not far, but I did want to show you the views. This is kind of how we came in, was across this little field over here, and then the shelter is kind of tucked in behind that rock right there. There's a trail to it right over here. So I'll show you the shelter area one more time before I go to the bed, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, there's my bag hanging in front of Thomas Knob Shelter. There's 4 of us on the ground floor down here. There may be a few more before we're done, because there's quite a few folks here tonight, but we kind of expected that. And anyway, we're going to go ahead and call it a day. Thanks for joining us. Sorry we cut our day short, but it was still 12 and a half miles. That's a respectable day. And we'll do our big day tomorrow and get over to Hurricane Shelter. We've got some stories to show you tomorrow, some big highlights tomorrow. There's one highlight coming up really early in tomorrow's video that you're not going to want to miss. But then after that, assuming the weather is good, we've got Grayson Highlands State Park tomorrow. We'll have views for days, I think. And it should be a great video tomorrow. So be sure and tune in the morning first thing. Talk to you soon.